Welcome to the Magic Paperclip Video Lab. If you have not completed the pre-lab research questions, pause the video and complete those now. When you're ready, start the video again. In part 1, we'll be looking at the Magic Paperclip. Here is our materials that we'll be using, and let's take a little bit closer look at that paperclip. It's not a normal paperclip, but it is a clip. The first thing we did was fill our 2 containers about halfway with water. The one on the right just has regular cold water out of the faucet. The one on the left has been heated to at least 60 degrees Celsius. And you can see in the image it's a little more than 60 degrees, but it needs to be at least 60 degrees. So I have my hot water on the left, my cold water on the right, and here's my clip. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unbend it in no particular fashion or order, but I'm just going to unbend it, and I'm going to drop it into the hot water and watch what happens. It went back to its original shape. I'll put it over here in the cold water, let it cool off real quick. Take it out and dry it off. And let's try it again with a different shape. Bend it around at different angles. And again, I'm going to drop it in. And it goes back to its original shape. Again, I'll drop it over here in the cool water. Take it out, get it dried off. And let's try something even more crazy bending. Drop it in, and it returns to its original. How about something really kind of crazy? I'm going to wrap it around a pencil into a coil or a spiral type shape. And let's see what happens with that. And it returned to its original shape once again. So what is this magic paperclip made of? It is an alloy called nitinol. It's commonly known as the memory metal as well. It's made up of 2 elements, nickel and titanium. And now it's time for you to complete the Part 1 questions and do a little research. Pause the video, and when you're ready, start the video again for Part 2. For Part 2, we'll be looking at some liquid crystal paper. And here it is. And I'm just going to rest it on my hand and observe what happens. So I have the liquid crystal paper on top of my hand. Well, let's try something different. And let's see if it reacts the same way if I put my hand on the top. Let's use the hot water and the cold water from the first experiment and see what happens. This is the hot water cup. And now let's bring in the cold water cup. Let's bring in a piece of copper, and I'm just going to lay it on the paper and see if anything happens. Picking it up, it doesn't appear to do anything, but now I'm going to hold it in my hand, as you can see here. And now I'm going to carefully place it on top of the piece of the copper, but not touching my hand. And let's see what happens. I'm going to do this activity again, but first I'm going to rub my hands together really quickly for a couple of seconds. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to place the paper on top of the copper piece, but not touching my hand. And now it's time for you to complete part 2 questions and do a little more research. Good luck!